Today I fucked up by assuming my friend was joking in Russian for almost a year. Obligatory stuff. This is not a throwaway account. I'll just own this one. This actually started in May 2019 but was only discovered today. So my close friends and I have a few ongoing group chats. They are all variations of like the same 10 people, but I've known them all for decades, and on my iPhone I've just been adding numbers to their contact profiles for well over a decade at this point. So in May 2019, I started a new group chat that shuffled a few folks around to keep up with texting preferences. You know, some people wanted in, some people wanted to take a break. It happens. NBD. So I add in my friends, and I'm just clicking on their names without looking at the numbers. Cause who looks at contacts numbers anymore? Well, I don't know how, but one of my friends got added with an old number. Still worked and he's pretty busy, so nobody thinks it's a big deal that he never chimes in. Fast forward to late February, early March 2020. For obvious reasons we all start texting a bit more than usual. So my friend Scott starts chiming in a bit, but it's in the Cyrillic alphabet. We can't tell if he is joking around or what, so we run it through Google Translate. Google doesn't understand all of it, but it's a lot of fucks in between, indecipherable garbage. We all laugh and joke about it and send him links on how to change his default language back to English, because that would totally happen to Scott. A week or two later he responds again in what we think is Russian. Google wasn't really sure with all the garbage translation, so we are all laughing at Scott and run it through Google Translate again. Same thing. A bunch of fucks and random nonsense. Anyway, fast forward to today. We're giving Russian Scott hell on the group chat because this is either some really stupid joke or he's a dumbass and can't fix his phone. We are cracking up and dying from laughter when real Scott calls me. He's worried about the world and a bit down because he hasn't heard from us in a while. I'm like, what? Haven't you been playing some kind of Russian joke on us lately? We thought you were just text lurking. Trade notes and quickly figure out that the wrong number had been added to the chat, and his old number, with a US area code, had somehow become a Russian spam number and he hadn't heard from us in almost a year. Oops. So now I'm trying to figure out the best way to send him a year's worth of a stupid group text to help him feel included again. We missed his birthday from his perspective, and Christmas. Of course, we celebrated all of that with angry Russian Scott. Doctor, I screwed a friend's number up on a group text almost a year ago and didn't realize till today we'd been hanging out with a Russian spammer and our friend felt abandoned. If anyone knows a way to forward a year's worth of texting on an iPhone to a different number, I'd love some advice. Edit 2. Because Redditors never believe anything. Here's some screenshots. I tried to hide my actual friend's personal stuff. Guys, I'm sorry if I did a bad job. Edit 3, I understand they are not a spammer now, and Edit 2 has been updated with a number redacted link. Edit 4, I added line breaks for better reading. Oh, and thanks for all the awards. Y'all, I'm still cracking up constantly about this. The reason why Google wasn't translating, because those are all swears. He asked to leave him alone, not a literal translation. Couldn't he leave the chat? I wanna see a heist movie where one of the team members is angry Russian Scott. No one can understand him, he doesn't understand them. No one really knows why he's there or who invited him. He's not happy about being there either, but he keeps showing up to all the secret meetings and driving the getaway car and just swearing at everybody in Russian the whole time. Damn it, somebody call Netflix. In Russian, it seems they're annoyed. It says we're Russian and you've annoyed the F out of us. F off. Loose translation is there's no exact. Ha ha ha. I feel bad for the poor Russians embroiled in this saga. Record your screen, film the texts scrolling down, send him the video. Can pause if he needs to. Oh, I like that option. Thanks. My old number I had for several years was still being used by the previous owner as a ditch number, so I got calls and texts from girls he didn't want to give his real number to, his doctor's office, bill collectors, and sadly, his own mother, who wouldn't believe I wasn't her son Doug playing one of his silly games. This had been my number exclusively for about 6 years at that point, and I knew he lived near me too because all the local stores had my number attached to his name. If I ever get my hands on Doug Benjamin, I'm going to throttle him. Doug Judy. Today I fucked up by being lazy and deciding to use a condom. I'm in my second trimester of pregnancy, and with that comes a much more robust libido. Today my husband went back to work and I found myself missing him badly. In my hormone-induced horniness, decided that I absolutely could not wait the 4 hours until he got home and went upstairs to find something to help me out. I am happy and healthily married. We have a good sex life. So it was unsurprising but also disappointing to me to open our dirty drawer and find that my favorite vibrator had some dust, and grossly, an errant strand of pet hair, stuck to it. But, I was determined and lazy. I didn't just climb 2 flights of stairs prego to have to go down and spend the 15 minutes cleaning my toy. And then, I saw it. A box of condoms that had been untouched for 8 months. Bingo. Happily and ignorantly I unwrapped one, put it on the vibrator and went to town figuring I'd clean it all up once I was done and that I was providing myself a safe and sanitary experience in the interim. And then the burning started. My hormonally foggy, pregnant lady boner brain forgot the whole reason why we stopped using the condoms in the first place, which led to our accidental but no less welcome baby bump. I had developed a nasty latex allergy that resulted in hives and a rash. Sure as shit, I had just gleefully and stupidly rubbed an irritant all over my already super sensitive lady bits. Not only that, but I was so embarrassed because I knew I'd have to explain to my very sweet, very loving husband why I felt the need to scratch at my crotch incessantly when he got home. So, I cried. Because I cry about everything these days. So now I have diaper cream that I bought for the baby on my cooch, and my husband has laughed at me over the phone and already tried coming up with several nicknames for my itchy, rashy private parts like any good-humored husband would. Too long didn't read. Got horny from pregnancy hormones, decided to take care of it myself but was too lazy to clean my vibrator, put a condom on it thinking it would solve the problem but forgot/ignored that I was allergic to latex. Now I have diaper rash cream on my cooch and my husband is laughing at me. Thank you for all the nicknames for my vagina. I showed this to my husband and he laughed so hard he cried, so the humiliation is worth it to see him have a little joy at my expense. I hope he doesn't refer to my genitalia as scratch or otapus for forever, but I get what I deserve. Many comments saying why the fuck do you still have those? Or I hope they're in the garbage now. Yes, I have thrown the condoms away. They are in the trash. You will never buy latex condoms again, I promise. Why would you use something you're allergic to? I think most people with skin allergies, or any allergy really, would agree that allergies are weird and can hit at any moment or build up over time. For a long time I wasn't allergic to condoms. And then using condoms resulted in discomfort which we guessed might have been an allergy but could have been anything. Chafing, razor burn, my husband could have had something on his hands that caused a rash. We didn't know. We only guessed. The important thing is that we now know for sure and we aren't going to use them anymore. It's also noted that many women commented some super useful information about communicating with the hospital when it's time to deliver, so I'm really grateful to all you ladies for the heads up on surgical tape, talking to our provider, and diaper rash cream for other uses. Thank you. People suggesting I abort my baby or hurt my husband or that I'm a whore for masturbating. People asking if they can see my rash or for more intimate details/photos, please, very kindly go fuck yourselves. Let's hear the best name so far. Rash Decisions or Scratton Anich. He thinks he's pretty funny. I tell him he's not. Scratchalotopus. For my own dignity, I'm not sharing this one with him because he will use it. Glitchy. Edit, thanks for the awards, y'all. Benadryl or Benadryl cream might slow that rash and those hives down. So sorry. And thanks for sharing. My son was diagnosed with a bad latex allergy when he was 10 to 11. I only thought condoms. A year or two afterward, which led to a necessary, but horrifying to him, conversation. He's 18 now. Poor kid. Today I fucked up by sending porn to the whole school. In a nod to you/prolific shoelaces recent post, I remembered something from my own time in school and thought it was worth posting. This was sometime around 2007. I too was a computer geek in school and loved trying to get around the school's restrictions on what you could do. Things like spamming left click to send thousands of Outlook emails to other students and crash their inbox, etc. One time in IT class we were working on video editing and I'd completed mine and wanted to copy the file to a USB stick. The school used a piece of software called RM Tutor for teachers to monitor, freeze and control students' machines. Of course this was normally locked to certain accounts, but they forgot to remove a context menu for student accounts when right-clicking a media file. Seeing this, I knew exactly what power we just found. I clicked open with RM Tutor and it opened with full access. Closed the video and began exploring the program. For a test, I froze my friend's keyboard inputs and it worked. Then I used Annotate and drew a dick on someone else's screen. All friends, so nobody told on me. My best friend sat next to me, was into computers too and wanted to have a poke around, so I showed him how to open it. He had a porn video on hand and thought it would be funny to play it on someone's screen across the room from us. However, he had not messed around with the software as much as I had and had clicked go before I had a chance to show him. Every screen showed this girl getting plowed. Not just in our class, not just on students' machines, not even just half the screens. It played on every computer screen in the damn school, including the headmaster's. We tried to play dumb and say we had no idea, but the school's technician checked the logs and ratted us out. Thankfully, because we were top performers for IT and didn't have any bad records, they let us off in exchange for showing them how we did it so they could fix it. Too long didn't read, found out how to access teacher software, messed around and streamed a porn video to every screen in the school. Quick edit, from googling it looks like it was RM Tutor 3. Vaguely remember it being not long after they moved from an old version. Reminds me of when I was in school. They used software called LAN School. All you had to do was pirate the admin console and you had full access. No central login system. Brilliant software/S. So this software is actually set up in channels. Each channel is typically a dedicated classroom and more commonly each channel is even named according to RM number. This is specifically done so each teacher can monitor their own class without affecting the rest of the student computers or teachers that are in other classes throughout the school. Once the client-sided channel is set, it typically cannot be changed without a complete reinstall of the software, which would require administrator access. So unless the IT admin at your school were complete idiots and failed to follow very basic setup documentation provided by RM, this porn would have only been displayed in one classroom and not across an entire school. I'm not completely doubting the story, but I've worked in IT for several schools over the last 15 years and I have never seen incompetence on that level. You don't keep your job by being that stupid in IT. Also, teacher computers and school admin computers would not have the client-sided software installed. It would be the teacher version for the software control and the porn would not display on any of those machines. They wouldn't get off the hook so easily either. That is perfect. I wish I thought of that when I was in school. Literally every post is a sexual NSFW post that makes it to my feed. WTF. The teacher should have taught you about responsible disclosure SMH.